Hey guys, Wayne here. Today I want to talk a little bit about just allowing your ex-narcissist to expose themselves. We've talked about this in the past, and I've used a few different examples, but I had another example recently that I thought I would share with you guys just to kind of drive that point home that you really don't necessarily need to do anything to point out the issues with your ex. You just have to give it time to allow it to happen. Now that can be really tough because, it takes time, and you just have to trust that they are going to, make those wonderful decisions that really demonstrate and show that they are really only thinking about themselves. They're self-absorbed. They really have no empathy towards anyone else. And, you don't have to. And it's not in your best interest to sit there and try to point it out. I mean, you can say it all day long, and even though it may be true, you don't necessarily have a lot of credibility in that discussion because you're too close to it and people expect you to say it. And when I say people, I'm talking about even your own kids, family, all of that stuff. You're best served to if something comes up and you have to defend yourself, that's one thing. But sitting there and actively trying to paint the picture of what your ex is doesn't really help you. Now, and to be perfectly honest, what I'll tell you guys is it does blow me away on a reoccurring basis the actions that my ex actually takes, because it's not necessarily majorly overt things, but it's just stuff that it's crazy. Like, for instance, the other day, I think I may have mentioned this in some comments or whatnot, my daughter had a tennis banquet. So they were going to have a potluck to recognize the girls and just have one little last time to hang out since the season was over. And for the girls to get their letters and their pens and some of different awards that the coach had selected some of the girls for, obviously my at the time my daughter was my kids are with me, so obviously I got to go because they're with me, but my daughter was really excited about it. Wanted both of us to go. I kind of asked a question a couple of times, like, "Hey, is your mom gonna come?" And my daughter's like, "Oh yeah, I invited her," and I'm thinking, great, but whatever. It was one of those things that I just knew I couldn't get out of that one, so whatever. And and then typically, at least in the way it seems now, is if there's any reason for her not to go, she won't go. I can relate because I don't exactly want to spend, any extra time with the ex. But, I think conversely, I probably would have shown up because if my daughter was actually asking me and saying it was important, I would have made the effort to do it. Well, the secondary thing that was going on with this, which I didn't realize, there's a new movie coming out, this new Harry Potter movie. And my son had asked, unbeknownst to me, had asked his mom that, he wanted to go with her to see the movie. And, so we're sitting there at this banquet and, he's not really thrilled about going to extra things he doesn't want to go to, but, hey, whatever. Free food. It was actually pretty good food, by the way. And so during the midst of it, he gets kind of upset. He's on his phone and he kind of makes a scoffing noise. And I'm like, well, what's up? And he goes, well, Mommy went and saw the movie. And I'm like, what are you talking about? He goes, well, that new movie. And I'm like, okay. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, well, obviously she's not coming to this. And so then he tells me, he says, well, I had specifically asked her and said it was important to me that I wanted to go with her, like old times when we used to see the other Harry Potter movies. He wanted to go. And he found out because it's almost entertaining. She posted on Facebook that that's where she was, seeing the movie, boom, that's where her location was. So what that so my point on that is, if you're really dealing with somebody who has these personality disorder or a significant portion of the traits, they just can't help themselves. I mean, just thinking about it, it's like, holy cow, just, make arrangements to go with them. I mean, hell, if you wanted to do it on the day that you were going to go, because it was she likes to go on the days when they announce, you know, ask to take him. I mean, realistically, yeah, would I be really overly joyed about it? Yeah, probably not. But if my son said, hey, my mommy wants to take me to this movie on the opening day and it's on your day, can I go? If he's asking, if I, technically the kid shouldn't be in the middle of it. But bottom line is, if he asked, I might make him say, look, if you want to do this, you don't need to get in the middle of it. Have your mom ask. But I would say yes, because it's important to him and stuff like that. But my point is that, these people do stuff like this. They have no ability to empathize with what they're even doing to their own children, and now, maybe if they do, maybe if, what am I trying to say? I guess I'm trying to say is, if my ex wouldn't do things like this, then maybe I could question myself and say, well, am I just over exaggerating the situation? Am I just wanting to see what I see? But you can't get away from this stuff. And this isn't a one-off thing, guys. I mean, and I've mentioned some of them before. This type of stuff has happened on a reoccurring basis. It's happened with my daughter. Actually, to be honest, I may have told this story the first time my older kids met my girlfriend. One of the things after we went to lunch was like, oh, let's go see a movie. And I don't remember what movie it was. And it's like, oh, well, this movie's out. It's new. Let's go see that. And my daughter was like, oh, no. Mommy's going to take me, we're going to go see that. So I don't want to see that because we're going to see it. I'm like, okay, whatever. So we did something else. And guess what happened? Whenever they were back with their mom, when they came back with me, I'm like, oh, how was the movie, honey? And I didn't know. I didn't know what happened. I was just like, hey, how did the movie go? Oh, we didn't go. Oh, well, why not? Oh, mommy went and saw it without me and she doesn't want to see it again. I'm like, you guys could probably look at this and go, oh my God, even if you were going to do that, just if you really had to see it on your own, I don't advocate lying, but don't say that you saw it and take the kids to see it again. I'm like, anyways, my point is that if you're really dealing with somebody with a personality disorder, they can't help themselves, right? It's a disorder. It's an issue. It's, whatever. if you're whatever medical issue, if you're a diabetic, you have blood sugar problems, if you have, whatever, heart, if you're an alcoholic, you have that issue. So my point is, try to find some calm in that, because I know that I didn't. I know that in the beginning of my situation, when I really wasn't sure what I was dealing with, and I was scared to death that was what was happening. Guys, I know I made things worse by trying to paint that picture, to expose her for her faults, when all I really needed to do is just sit back and let it happen. Maybe you need to kind of like paint a little bit of the picture, not accusing somebody of it, but just kind of like, whatever. If you need to well, yeah, sometimes they make decisions that are a little bit focused on themselves, but oh well. But you just downplay it. Let them paint their own picture. Let them do it to your kid. I hate to say this, but you don't have any choice. If you're trying to co-parent, if you have shared custody and you're parallel parenting with your ex, you don't have a choice. So allow them to do the damage that they do. And maybe if we're lucky, it's not as, maybe we did exaggerate it and they won't do these things. But guys, if they really have this problem, they are going to do it. They cannot help themselves. Allow it to happen and then be there for your kids to pick up the pieces. We've talked about this before, where unfortunately our role in this is to try to mitigate and minimize the damage that the narcissist, borderline personality disorder, what that individual is doing to our kids. and because of the family court system and the way things play out and how these personality disorders really are so, kind of under the radar and really hard to detect, you're not really going to be able to go in and say, this person is a narcissist and see what they're doing to the kids. They're emotionally damaging them for life, which they are, But we all have the opportunity to work with our kids and make adjustments and try to teach them and try to give them the skill sets to minimize the damage. All right, so I'm going to wrap this up. I just wanted to throw that out there because I know a lot of us struggle with this, and when we get those examples that validate what we're dealing with, and then you're not the one who's trying to not play the kids, but be in the middle where you're trying to tell the kids what's going on. All right, so on that, I'm going to wrap this up. This next week is going to be a little complicated on videos. I have the kids with me, so that's why I'm kind of out in the middle of nowhere. I'm going to basically take opportunities where I can to record and get some stuff out there. So hopefully you guys are having a good holiday. Hopefully you guys get some time off. I don't, so that's kind of a bummer. But I do get Thanksgiving off, so that's cool. And hey, I'll talk with you guys on the next video. So hope you're doing okay, and talk to you later. Bye.